Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate and Stuff, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of real estate investing and the random stuff that make life interesting. I'm John Whitfield, joined by my co-hosts BP from TED Sysops and Carlos Zamora from Investor Fuse and Carrot. How's it going, guys? We've had guests on the last 2 weeks, so I don't know what we're gonna call this episode because we are pre-recording because Carlos is traveling the globe again, well, the Western Hemisphere again. But wait, is that the Western Hemisphere? Whatever.
Who gives a shit if it's not America? It don't matter.
So we got quite a few things to run through. Some just like, hey, if you're a regular listener of the podcast, some updates of our normal kind of topics and stuff. So how's it going, gentlemen?
Doing good. Loving deals. I'm getting closer and closing that mobile home park. 1 month away. We gotta. Oh shit! I got a message her. I need an extension. I talked to her 2 weeks ago about an extension, but we're waiting on the appraisal and stuff. That's the thing about mobile home parks is like you could do all this and like I could be ready. We have commitments for the funds, and then it's like waiting on an appraiser to call me, waiting on a survey. Because you can only do stuff in a certain order. I guess hypothetically, I could have done all this before my inspection was out. You know what I mean? But like, you don't want to do that because it costs money. You want to go through these steps, and you have this timeline to get stuff done, but you just don't control the bank's underwriting. You don't control this. She understands. She's pretty cool. So
the producers in my ears. The producer and Steve Cohen from Investor Boots are in my ear, seeing if you're going to leverage any of their services.
I know. No, but like. I needed somebody. I did not use Investor Boots, but I did need somebody. So like I was telling John, Home Depot called during one of our meetings, and like, so I go through these vendors, and like this guy didn't pick up my order that I ordered for him to rehab this one unit. We're doing a make ready, like a turnover. Mm-hmm. Anyway, like I go through them. This is now, I think, the second guy, maybe. Like I have a handyman, but they're not picking up, not responding, no answering text messages. And then the one time he did respond, he's like, yeah, I went there and they said they didn't have the order for you. I'm like, give me a fucking break, dude. Cause like they had called me that morning. Anyway, so I'm paying my junk guy, my demo guy, he's always hungry for work. So I was like, bro, I'll pay you $150 to go pick up this Home Depot order and then go to the house, drop it off and take photos for me and let me know what he's done, what he hasn't done. Are there any materials?
So the guy that's picking it up is also the guy that's rehabbing it, or the guy that was supposed to be picking it up is the guy.
Yeah, because so like what I do, like I don't front people money or anything. What I'll do is I'll just order materials and I'll say, okay, well, hey, we work out a bid, and then I go on my pro account and I'll order it to the Home Depot for pickup. And I could typically order 90% of stuff that you can't do. For some reason, they won't let you do lumber anymore online for pickup. But and it'll be, it's weird. It just started, and I don't know. Maybe it's just in Little Rock in Georgia. But anyway, and then they go pick it up and they get to work. You know what I mean? And they're responsible for the little shit, caulk, nails, screws, blah, 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 blah. I pay for the big shit. So he picked up that first order, and then, he was working. At least he said he was working. And then I was like, okay, dude, well, you need cabinet paint. You need a hot water heater. You need some blinds, I'll order that. And so, I waited for it to come. I'm like, hey, dude, go pick it up. Nothing. Crickets.
Is that typical to not pay some of it up front? I'm just curious.
It depends. So I think
how contractors work.
I won't, but now in Steamboat at our mountain property, the one in Steamboat, I just did put a $4,000 deposit down to paint. I'm also hiring different type of company, reputable, you know what I mean? Like off of, recommendation website. Like I felt comfortable putting a deposit down. I'm doing the same with the wood floor guy. Like it's just a different market, different type of vendors, different business structure. Here, when you're working on, you're dealing with chucking a truck type of stuff. Like, no, I'm not giving you. I've never had to do that except for one guy at my first park. He was so broke. Like if he needed something, either I paid for it or I have to give him money up front because he literally had no money. He ceases to work with me. So anyway, I'm paying this guy to go because I feel like either I got my initial material stolen and he never did work, or he just stopped mid work, in which case I'm just going to offer to pay him off. Be like, here's what you've done. Here's a check. Leave me alone. Never talk to me again. But it's just part of the process. And I got another guy who's hungry for work. He's going to start. But now the junk guy, this is usually how it goes. Now this guy's like, hey man, like I know I only do demos for you, but like me and my guys could do some stuff like to help you out so you don't, you can move these properties. I'll be honest with you with the work I could do and can't do, but like we have time. So like I told him to go do this and we'll talk and see if I have little stuff, and then I test you out. In this job that I gave this other guy, like I'm not dumb. Like I don't give you a 15K rehab or a 20K, you know what I mean, worth of materials. For each guy, I pick my easiest house with the least amount of stuff and I test you out. How do you respond to me? You know what I mean? You get it. Like, what's the communication? How stupid are you when we're talking? You know what I mean? Because you all sound good when you're bidding a job out because it takes 2 seconds to go send me a bid. We talk for a few minutes on the phone. But like, how are you when I'm coordinating stuff? How available are you? How fast do you respond?
How well do you do the job?
How well? Yeah. Well, surprisingly, John, that's the last thing on my list.
Oh, really?
Quality of work is towards the end because like you could have the best quality work, but like imagine working with someone who never picks up the phone for you. Yeah. Imagine working for somebody where you order stuff and he doesn't go and pick it up and they return it and it's just dragging your job. He may be the best laborer quality wise, but the worst communicator, and you could have the opposite too. So I always look for good communication, availability, honesty, you know what I mean? These types of things where we work as a team. And questions like that guy lied to me. One, Home Depot had my order. They've been calling me to pick it up. And then he's like, I was going to call you. Like, bro, why wouldn't you call me? Why wouldn't you call me while you're there? Like my other handyman, like this has happened where Home Depot can't find the order. They'll call me in the store because it took time for them to go. They don't want to leave without it. You know what I mean? Because otherwise they got to come back to pick it up and they don't want to do that. So they'll call me no matter what time of day it is and be like, dude, like your order's not ready. And then I got to get on the phone with Home Depot, figure it out. One guy even went and picked the order himself. So I knew this dude was lying because come on, bro. So anyway, if we're doing that today. I should find out how bad I got ripped off. You know, it was only like $1,000 worth of materials that he picked up for me initially. So I'm not really worried about it. $1,000 is a lot, but at the same time, I was telling John, like I usually go through this every time I build a virtual team. It's never the first crew ever. Except for my
second, third. What is it on average?
3.
It's like I remember the family talking about like business getting acquired. I think there's 7. The average is like 7 iterations going back and forth.
Oh, good God.
No,
I'm glad it worked on my first.
I believe it. I mean,
I could not do that 7 times.
Because like I've worked with people virtually for a little bit, and then something always like my plumber, like we worked together for a while, and it was good, but then things weren't good, and I started to notice things. His organization, he lost some of my stuff, and like he would never take accountability for stuff. And then his pricing, where I thought it was cheaper, I was like started to really price him out on other stuff. And I noticed like, you just start noticing these things. And so it got to a head to where I paid $1,400 for a shower replacement.
What?
Yeah, it's pretty with materials labor. You're buying the shower kit, the pan, the wraparound. That's like $600, $200. So you're paying $800 and then like another $600 for install. And it's like, I'll do that. Anyway, he went and did it, right? And I get pictures and I pay him. And then I'm looking at the pictures closer and I'm like, dude, so like, and I sent my handyman out because he was doing other work and he sends me photos and he's like, bro, they grinded my pan down, right? So get this. So they grinded the pan down because they did not replace my shower walls, the enclosure, the fiberglass around it. They used the old one. When I had asked him about it, the plumber swore it was brand new. He's like, nah, dude, that's new. It's new. And we argued about it. I'm like, all right, dude, well, unless like the new one stained yellow, this is old. He's like, no. So then Francisco sent me photos. So they ruined my new shower pan so it wouldn't seal right because he couldn't fit it in because he was trying to squeeze it underneath the existing shower. And then like he fucked all my trim up, put holes in my wall. Anyway, I had to rip all that out, pay for a new shower, pan, and surround. Francisco went and did it, and I paid less.
Interesting.
Shout out Francisco.
So I stopped working with that guy, essentially. And that was that. He lost my meters. He lost my water meters too. It's just like
What? The ones that you're for bill back?
Yeah, but like it's not even that he did it, it's the lack of accountability. All of it, to me, mistakes happen. It was the arguing. It's like a child arguing with a parent. Like, bro, like I don't care what your reason is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you to do this, or you made this mistake. Just say you're sorry. Let's move on from it. Don't try to tell me why you're right. And that's what it was like. Well, you know, like I don't know where it's at. Are you sure you gave me these meters? Like so I'm the burden of proof where I have to go show him the receipts and shipping like the shipping labels and all this stuff for him to finally admit that it's possible his weed head and alcoholic fucking employees probably fucking lost it because they're probably spending time at the casino and at the bar and don't give a shit. That was inconceivable to him, but more likely I just never gave him the meters, not that he had lost them.
How many meters did he lose? Aren't those like $400 a pop?
No, you don't actually pay for them. Now, they're on a lease, but yeah, I mean, so I got new ones. It was 7. No, that's a lie. I think it was 4. 4, and I ordered 7 because I was missing 3. So it was 4. I didn't order 3, so I ordered 7 more. But anyway, you get the idea, right? Like,
yeah.
And then
Fun
I went
times
through
at the
yeah
at the
Anyway,
parks.
the stories go on. You want to hear something?
I do.
I'm just noticing the Bitcoin on the mic. I love that. Does it say love with a Bitcoin on there?
Yeah. So I sold that mobile home for Bitcoin like 3 years ago, right? When Bitcoin in like 2020, the realtor reached out to me 2 days ago. The realtor who was representing the buyer is like, so how much money have you made off that mobile? I'm the guy who represented the buyer who paid you in Bitcoin. And it was just so random. And I was like, I was like, yeah, dude. Well, I was like, it was at 36K whenever we did the deal. And now it's at 95 or whatever.
It's tumbling a little bit this week, isn't it?
Yeah. I was like, so it's tripled. I was like, I haven't sold it. It's just sitting in, it's sitting there. So, it'll keep paying. It'll keep going. He's like, yeah, I was telling somebody about that. It was the wildest transaction I've ever done. He's like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. So anyway, that was that. Little side note. My Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
What is the big thing on your mic?
Pop.
That's a crystal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
That's the one you used to wear, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah,
If you put into chat GPT 10x sign patriotic US flag Bitcoin sticker mic pop up, he would
describe this personality.
No.
Be a picture of BP.
All right, what's your big
I got turned into the Attorney General.
Get turned into the United States Attorney General?
The State Attorney General of Arkansas.
Okay. This sounds fun.
I feel like an episode of Billions here.
I was trying to find the
Chuck Rhodes. Chuck Rhodes is on you?
Pretty much. And like that's kind of it. What day is today? The 26th, so it would have been on Monday. Yeah, so it's like when you do this stuff, right? Like you never know how this all is going to play out. Like there's always somebody that's going to be upset with something that you're doing. And like one of the things that really bothered me was the simple fact that like, okay, so she filed a complaint with She filed a complaint with the Attorney General, the state's Office of the Attorney General, Tim Griffin, in the Public Protection Division, has received an enclosed complaint about your business practices. While we don't represent them as their lawyer, we need to undertake efforts to mediate these consumer complaints. You have 10 days to respond to receive this blah, 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 burden of proof, all this stuff. We will provide a fair evaluation of this matter. So I got this official letter from them.
Is this your first park?
Yeah, my good one, my nice one.
I'm about to say that this is interesting. That's the best park you have right now.
Oh yeah, dude, I've invested a lot of money in this park.
What are they claiming? Do you know that yet?
Oh yeah. So
okay.
Fix my holes and my leaks, my front door, replace the stove, refrigerator, and bathroom fan.
So there, a tenant is saying that you are not doing those things.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know which tenant it is? Based
Oh
off
yeah.
of that?
Oh yeah. I know. I mean, it's on the complaint. You get served.
okay.
Like, I mean, I wasn't officially served, right? They send an email. I'm sure I'll get a letter in the mail following this in the next day or two, right? It's coming from Arkansas. So yeah, I mean, I know. I mean, they put their name down, their address. Like, I have the right to prove to this whatever department why I'm doing what I'm doing.
So the tenant is claiming that you are not keeping up your mobile home.
She
right?
is claiming that I am refusing to fix the leaks, holes, front door, stove, and refrigerator and bathroom vent fan.
So is that true?
100% true.
Oh, fun.
The twists. Twists. See, you thought I was going to say that's not true.
I did too.
So
Billions episode.
the question is, am I the slumlord that she's painting me out to be, or do I have cause for not doing this? That's where this gets interesting. So, like, let me rewind this, right? Bro, when did I buy this park, John? Like
2 years ago?
Okay. There you go. We'll go back and forth here. So 2 years. And I was new to that, right? Like, okay, so I had no processes. And I've admitted on this show, I did no real due diligence when I bought this park. So when I bought this park, I was seeing the units for the first time. I met, my process. Like, I go on site and I stay there and I knock on doors. And the moment I knocked on this I didn't even get to knock on the door. The moment I rolled up to this unit, I had the entire family sitting outside and on the patio, junk all around.
At this point in time, you'd purchased the property already,
yeah, this
right?
was on my first visit, handing out my intro letters.
Okay.
So, like, moment I saw the outside and saw them, I knew this was going to be a problem. But, like, I didn't have any processes. I didn't have formal notices. We didn't even have a lease in place yet, right? Like, so it's like, whatever, dude. And so at that point, like, it was just, can I share my screen?
Yeah.
At that point, I was pretty much just, like bagging and tagging, you know what I mean? Just walking around, meeting people and like putting my notes in and just being, like, okay, thank you very much. Like, cool. See you later, alligator. And that was pretty much it. How do I share my screen when I'm here? Sorry, I got to get out of full screen.
The drama tension is so high right now.
Can you see? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, stuff around. This was on, like, the first visit. So you start to see all the junk piled up. Okay? Just things that we don't typically allow around this, like all the clutter and bags on the front porch and personal stuff, because what it does is it attracts roaches and mice. It's like they have places to hide, wet wood, you know what I mean? Like, all these things are just, and it's by the door. So it's like, okay, and decorations on the back. So none of this was crazy at this point, right? But, like, yeah, I was not satisfied with it. So blah, blah, blah. So you're getting through. And this is them. This is how they're living. So I go in, they invite me in because I asked them if there's any complaints they want. And they proceed to show me like a hinge. This is what they wanted to point out, was that this screw on this hinge wasn't right. And they were like, there's a soft spot in the floor, which wasn't really that bad. So, okay. So this is the unit. So anyway, like, time goes by and like we don't really hear from them. And then like a month or so later, they issue a repair order for a leak. We send our guy out there. Done. No problem, bro. No problem at all. So here's the thing, is after that, so like that's proof that I'm taking care of things. Now, mind you, throughout all of this, right? Like, where what am I trying to say? Throughout all of this, we're taking care of other units. So it's not like I'm just not doing stuff. Well, anyway, a couple months later, she put in a request for new appliances. And this is where it started to get bad, because at that point, She wanted a new stove, a new fridge, and all this. We sent without hesitation, we're ready to do it. Send the appliance guy out there. And I have proof of it. So it's not that I wasn't willing to do it. Bro, I'm not logged into Instagram. I wish I was. But if you go down my Instagram in February of 2023, there's a video of a fridge where I posted it of what her appliances look like. And it's just a short little video. And every black dot on that is a roach. And what the appliance guy, when he started to pull it out, what he had realized is this place was infested with roaches. And he warned us, and I have the email. And he's like, hey, man, like, this place is very roachy, one of the worst we've seen. Here's the video, so we got the video. And he's like, I would not recommend putting any appliances in there until your tenant cleans this, because they've got into like the cooling units and they're damaging everything, like the nests and all the roaches, and everything is infested. Now, I was like, oh, okay. Like, when I was in there, it wasn't really that bad. But then again, I was new and I wasn't really looking. I was just trying to meet tenants. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we go back. I don't know. I'm trying to switch back to the thing.
So at that point, did you tell the tenant you needed?
So I set up a time to go look at the unit.
You personally?
Yeah. And so we went in and we looked at the unit, and there was more trash outside, right? So you could kind of see like trash outside and all this stuff. And we had informed her that she needed to clean the unit up before we could do anything, that she had to clean the unit essentially. So you could see here between April and December, we had no inspections, no communications. We had informed her pretty much that she needed to go. We would do the appliances, but we have like a text message where it says you need to clean up this pest situation before we can do any repairs on your unit. And so we waited. Now, and again, that's probably like, I'm writing an article about this, and I think where my biggest mistake was, I should have checked back in. I should have kicked her out. I should have posted formal notices. I didn't do any of that. This was like 4 months in to my adventure in mobile home parks. And we kicked 2 people out, and like, I was losing money, not losing it, but we were declining in revenue. And I was like, you know what? We'll let her stay. She's on Section 8. So they're paying. So we're getting money. Like, I'll just deal with this later. And that was where I went wrong. I should have dealt with it head on, because the property kept getting worse. So then in December, she posted another work order essentially. And she wanted us to come into the unit. So saying she has already cleaned up the yard. Sorry, dude. Tell me if you don't want me to share my screen, but I just felt like showing.
No, you're good.
So when I went back in December, I sent her all this. So you could see like now more junk is accumulating. See this? So we were like, hey, this trash debris. We made contact by phone call. You need to clean this up. So she's like, okay. She said, we've cleaned up the yard. She created a work order to let us know the cleanup has been done at the end of the year. Cool. So
she created a work order for the cleanup?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Don't even ask questions, dude. She's retarded. She creates work orders to communicate with us and yell at us through the thing. So like you can see one. So this is our notice, and we're informing her of this.
A year ago.
Yeah, so this is last year. During the inspection, we observed the following: unauthorized occupants, dirty home, pest infestations, damaged appliances, cigarette odor throughout the property. Like, we told her she had to clean all this stuff up. So like, here is that. So like, you could see, you remember what it looked like before, right?
Mm-hmm.
More stuff is accumulating. So like, that's the problem here, is like just more shit is junk, food, trash, and she wants us to put new stuff in here. And it's like, we have no problem doing that, but you have food laying everywhere. It's like, you're just not looking, it's not clean. There's rats and roaches, and I had to put filters in. Yeah. But like, you can see what I'm saying, right? Like, it's just not clean. Stuff everywhere. Was
this you doing this inspection?
Yeah. And so, like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what they're living in. And it's just like, at this point, I'm like, hey, listen, like, you need just food left out. Like, you need to clean this shit up. You know what I mean? Like, this was in February of that month. Now, it took her a little bit. And then she messaged us back in March. We messaged her in March. She's like, my kids have moved out. This is a month later. My kids have moved out. I'm ready to get this place back in shape. My fridge is barely working. The stove. I need all this stuff taken care of. And the unauthorized people that were living there are gone. Okay. So what happens? Where is it? So about a month or two later, we issue an inspection. More junk. You see, it's just this. I'm going to save the time, dude. I'm just going to cut through the chase here. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until this. And so she sends us this report where she's like, I am paying for, here's her services for roaches and mice pest control. She's like, I'm paying for it. I'm doing what you asked. And it's like, well, lady, like, this was the other day. This was like a few weeks ago. There's literally a roach on the wall. There's mouse traps. You have mouse droppings all over the floor. You have rat shit and roach shit all in your cabinets. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's near the dishwasher. Rat shit on your water jugs that you're drinking out of. It's like you have junk and food and soda cans. You can't even get in this room. Where do you think the rats are living? So my manager asked her to clean this out, and she yelled at her saying, I'm not changing my lifestyle for you guys. I'm not cleaning this. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and you go through. So like, this was only a few weeks ago where she claims she has cured all of the messes. Does it look like she's cured? This is trash bags sitting outside her front door. What do you think, John, if you had a house and you left trash bags sitting outside your front door? What do you think would happen?
You're going to get some pests.
Yeah, like, look at this, dude. Like, trash, cans, soda cans, just like all this shit. So the problem is like, we keep asking her to clean this stuff, and every time it just keeps reaccumulating. So there's like months in between when we ask her to do something and her actually then responding back to us like, now I need this done. And we keep coming back to the same thing. We will do it. You need to clean this up. So then she sends us this letter like, here's my quarterly inspections. So I told my manager, I'm like, I don't care if she sends us the quarterly inspection. If the rodent, the thing isn't you need the service. You need the problem to be gone. So this is why I'm a slumlord, because I'm refusing to put money into this when she is refusing to clean. So as I'm putting together all my stuff, I was like, during 2023, the first year we've owned it, we replaced 11 appliances throughout the park. In 2024, we replaced 10 appliances throughout the park. So that's 21 different things of appliances tenants have gotten new. It's not that we're not doing anything. It's that she is not. And so I have evidence of the units I've rehabbed. We've rehabbed 12 different units in this park. 21 sets of appliances, not sets, but individual appliances have been placed in this park. We have done like 6 different roofs, 13 different ACs. Like, it's not. So my whole argument is it's not that I'm refusing to take care of anybody in the park. Everybody else, when we ask them to do stuff, even our other difficult tenants, like the one guy I'm thinking of, we gave him notice and he cleaned up the yard because it was like, clean it up or go. With her, it's this argument because she's on housing authority. And it's like housing authority is basically making us feel guilty that they can't place her anywhere else. And it's like, yeah, you know, and so, and I,
so does your lease change with Section 8 that you don't have as, like, do you have to do anything different with Section 8 in terms of how you would treat?
I mean, I have rules that I have to abide by with Section 8. The house needs to be kept in a certain order, but she has rules too. The problem is it's a back and forth, and housing authority isn't the most efficient group. And they said, can you show us evidence of this? And now where I've made the mistake is,
wait, housing authorities already asked you about this before the Attorney General?
Oh, she should have went to housing authority for this. She's being a pain and went to Section 8, because if housing authority would have made us do whatever they want us to do, and we would have to respond to them and go through it with them. Typically, I've never dealt with issues in other states other than Florida, but so we haven't had problems anywhere else, like in in Arkansas with them. Usually we have a few people on Section 8. We get our rent. They do their inspections and all that stuff. Section 8 housing authority hasn't said anything about this unit. They did tell us when we talked about removing her, and they made us feel, they said, well, hey, listen, she has rules if you give us evidence. Now, where we made the mistake is we didn't, because I wasn't trying to rock the boat. I was trying to keep collecting rent while I fixed up the park. And I just kept telling her, clean up your unit and I will do the repairs. And she would not clean up the unit. So that's where we're at. And this was a couple weeks ago. And so I had my manager drive by the other day and there's more shit back on the porch. So it's like I hit this head where I'm just like, you know what? I told Brittany, I was like, get a hold of Section 8 this week and just tell them we want her out. Like we're on a 30-day, a month-to-month lease. I'm just done with this, dude. Like I'm just done.
Yeah. At this point, you just.
So who do you think's at fault here?
No, her for sure. I hope the Attorney General sees it that way. What does the Attorney General do? What are the ramifications? Like, how does this work?
I have no idea. So, like, the way it seems is your response to the complaint is required for us to conduct a fair evaluation of this matter. We will share your response with the consumer who has filed the complaint. Our goal is to resolve this consumer complaint in a fashion that is acceptable to both the consumer and you.
So it sounds like they would take.
It's more.
If they're looking at investigating you. Yeah, if they're like investigating you, like your ability to prove this is what I've done in the park should help, right?
I mean, I don't think they care about what I do for other people. I mean, am I using that angle and saying like, hey, listen, one, it's not that I have bad business practices. Here's, other people have gotten repairs. And so then I use that as a foundation of saying, here's why she's not getting them.
Yeah.
And then show the photos. And I have, communications. I was showing you, like, we were putting together that PDF of like all the communications back and forth and timeline. And hopefully they see that. And my thing is like, appliances aren't cheap, man. I mean, I know it's $1,000, but like you spend $1,000 on new appliances and it's like, I don't want roaches in there because when I remove her, then I have to get rid of those. Once they're in appliances, bro, that's it. Like you'll never, doesn't matter what you do. Like they're in your appliances. Like you could bait and trap them and they're not like Florida roaches. They're German roaches. Those are the dirty roaches. When you are dirty, and I love when tenants try to blame me as the landlord saying I have pest infestations because like this leak and this leak. That's true if they're like the water bugs, the palmetto bugs, but you have German roaches because you don't clean.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. And in our lease, there are things in there that you have to take care of pest control.
So she's Section 8 has to sign your regular lease as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then other things in there. Like, so again, where did I fail? I don't know with housing authority. I don't know much about it. Brittany handles it, but I mean, we didn't fine her for non-compliance. Typically, like she's gotten a lot of leniency because she's on housing authority. And that's where I made my mistake. Everybody else, like one lady refused to put out a fire the other day in a bonfire they were having and yelled at my manager. And I gave her non-compliance fine within 2 days. Like I sent her a letter, got on the phone with her and I was like, here's why you're getting this. Boom. Fine. Like no bullshit. We're very strict with our rule book in this, except for with this lady, and it, what do you call it? Like no good deed goes unpunished. And I'm not going to say it was a good deed per se. I was just benefited me to just like, hey, I'm not going to kick you out because when I do, your place is such a fucking wreck.
Yeah.
She smokes inside. I didn't show you the picture. We have a no smoking policy, and there's literally her sitting there smoking with an ashtray filled with cigarettes. And she has an unauthorized occupant, and she's claiming, so we've been in this argument for months, where she's like, my dad doesn't live with me. Every time I'm there, the dad's there. He has a fucking room. His clothes are there. He's always laying in bed. She's like, he doesn't live there. The other day, he admitted to my manager that this is his room, and he stays out of her way, and this is his little corner of the world. So we then issued her a notice. Finally, we started noticing her in January. And so now she's arguing that, like, no, my dad doesn't live with me. I pick him up every morning and drop him off every night. So you get what I'm saying? It's like these lies that like I'm unraveling. I pay for pest control. I solved the pest problem. I cleaned up. Like there's obviously a difference in perception of what clean means or pest control means.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but my problem is like, I don't know, this is now a consumer complaint. Like you research me, like my name. I've gone 15 years without having a consumer complaint or anything filed against me as a broker, agent. You know what I mean? Nothing. No filings. And then this lady
you got into mobile home parks.
But you saw it, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But it's just more time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just more
you
time.
don't have to like hire an attorney or anything, right?
No, because I'm pretty sure this is more of mediation. I mean, she's not doing anything. And again, so here's the thing. Is like, if I really had to, I'll just go replace the units if it gets down to it. But I mean, I'm removing her from the community. This was the last straw for me of like, now she's taking so much time from me, my manager. And it's just like, we have other shit. We have a great community. People love it there, except for one dude who's always fucking angry. He's angry at the world. But like, you know, you're always going to have those guys. He's a good dude. He's just an angry old man. But, you know, and then she complains about how expensive the rent is, and she pays $120, like $127 of her portion of the rent because Housing Authority picks up the rest. And it's like, these are the people that are causing these problems on taxpayer money. And it's on me. I should have just been more strict. I should have been more strict, and she would have been out, and I wouldn't be in this problem. But I have a lot of units to rehab, and I just didn't want one more.
How many do you have left to rehab in that first park?
So, I mean, I got a lot. I mean, it's 36 units. We'd probably rehab like almost half of them at this point. I moved one from lot 1 over to my newly rehabbed one in 21 because their floors were falling in from the previous owner. And I talked to them over the last year or two. I'm like, hey, listen, like, and I offered them a year ago, I offered them another unit. She didn't want it because there was carpet in the bedrooms. So she opted to stay in her unit. And then finally I rehabbed this one and she liked it. So she moved into this the other month at a higher rate. She was willing to pay more, paying the market rate. Brand new remodel, paint inside out, new floors, roof, everything. It's beautiful. And now I have that one that I have to rip up all the floors and redo the subfloor. And then I have the one I evicted last year, which I put on hold because I was fixing everything else. So I have that one. And then I'm finishing up lot 9 because that guy broke his lease because he was part of the plumber's crew. He was the one who fucked my shower pan up. So when I stopped using the plumber, and then I got strict last year, and this had nothing to do with him. We started instituting our notices and our fines and everything. Yeah. So he was always late, but we always waived late fees for him because he worked for our plumber. So finally I was just like, and it had nothing to do with him. I sent a memo to our Gene and Brittany. I was like, everyone across all the parks are now paying late fees. I'm done with all, unless they call us specifically and have a talk with us about their late payment, they will be charged late fees. The initial and the daily, I wanted automatic and rent manager to just accrue. He thought it was retaliation. So his retaliation was to break the lease and leave. So now I'm filing in small claims court against him for his unpaid rent. And this is the fun of mobile home parks.
Not
never a dull moment.
Huh?
Nah, dude, it's always something, bro. So
not all rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes it's German roaches and
yeah. But like, you know,
what
he
was
left.
The Lampu? What was the water one?
The water what?
Lampu bugs. What was the one?
Water palmetto.
Palmetto
bugs.
No, that's
come on, you live in Florida. You should know those now.
I know.
But like, dude, like passive income, my ass. It's passive for the people who give you the money to buy these things. But as an operator, it's like
those are the people who make.
You still think it's worth it?
Yeah.
You still believe in the dream?
Oh, I love it. I mean, I'm still buying more. There's a few team members I want to get to help me streamline all this that I think like we could just get better at some stuff. But did these problems bother me? No, I was just pissed, dude. It's like you leave and abandon your lease. Me and my ex did that. Did you guys ever do that? Anybody ever try that? Because you got to
get out of your lease early?
Because you got a fucking lease. You don't do that. Everybody knows. You coordinate house buying around it and all that. Well, my ex and my daughter moved to Florida with me back in the day when we were in our 20s, and she broke her lease to do it. And bro, I tried calling and negotiating. They were just like, and we paid it. Like they accelerated our rent. We worked out a payment plan and I paid them. I mean, I was making good money. I didn't really care, but like I tried, but they came after us and I was just like, okay, cool. And that was it. You know what I mean? Like I understood she had a signed lease. Like it was the contract. These people just don't seem to care. So I'm filing in small claims court just so it could be on their record. Whether I get any money or not, like I don't give a shit. Like my lease says you cannot break it. You signed an annual lease.
Yeah. How much does it cost for you to chase him down in court?
$65.
Really? That's it? That's not bad.
Yeah, I reached out to my attorney, and like if I went into a different court and went above $5,000, then I need an attorney, and that was going to cost me thousands. But if I file in small claims, it's just me and them. That's $65, and I can represent myself pretty much. So I'm just going to do that, even though he owes me more than $5. I'm just, just put it below $5. But these things taught me lessons. So like now we're making up addendums, and I should have done this before. John, because I guarantee you had this with your hedge fund because I'm pretty sure I saw it in their lease. Did they not have a list of the cost of damages to repair stuff? Did IH2 not have that? Where like if you leave and there's a nail hole or this, there'd be like a dollar amount attached to what they will deduct?
I don't remember in the lease them listing it all out exactly, but when we moved out, they sent a very itemized list.
So that's what we're doing now is like, because I realize with these people abandoning, you have to list out in the claim of like what they owe you. And it's not just the rent. It's like, okay, well, the cost to re-rent it, repairs, all this. And that new park I'm buying, she has it. So I copied it from her and readjusted it. And it's like, yeah, like if you leave and you leave nail holes, this is how much we're charging. This is our hourly rate. This is if the manager has to do this. And you're going to sign the addendum. I remember
that from the lease because I was like, oh, that's really weird that I've never seen
the hedge funds had it.
Yeah.
I forgot all about it when I used to rent their homes for them. And I remember the people complaining and I was like, hey man, like, I mean, if you just take care of the property, like you won't get charged these things. They just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
That's why they're charging you $4 per hole in the wall.
Yeah. I mean, so when we moved out, like they'd sent an itemized list, everything got equated to wear and tear. But so you wouldn't do that in a case where somebody breaks a lease, like you just go through everything.
To me, there's a difference between wear and tear and just not cleaning your unit or caring.
Well, yeah, we left ours in good shape. I mean, there was one door that the dog attacked.
So like
that was it.
So this happened. So 2 units side by side left simultaneously in December and abandoned their leases. 1 was retaliation. 2 was she bought a home and didn't care about the lease. The one who bought the home, she left her home in pretty good shape. Cleaning fees. She left 6 months rent unpaid. So, cleaning, there was a leak we uncovered. So I'm going to put that on there because she never informed us of a leak because of a clog and all this stuff. And, utilities, I can charge for all those things and I'll put it on. But then we re-rented it. So now I can only get the portion between when she left and when I re-rented it. So she owes me a few thousand basically, but otherwise like that's fine. Either way, I just want it on the record. I just want, and if I can garnish wages, I will. I also want to understand the process. And like each thing is making us better. So now I'm including different addendums and stuff like that. Well, you learn as you go. So yeah, I'd keep doing it, bro. Like this is fine.
Sounds like so much work. Just imagining extrapolating this to a single family house, like a giant portfolio.
Well, this is why. So mobile homes, they can either own their home or you own it, which is why like it's nice when they own their own home because you don't have to repair anything. Yeah. So like my other park, they own every one of the homes with the exception of I just bought one this week. The guy didn't want it, so I bought it from him for $8,500. But like I don't fix anything unless it's outside. Like I fix a lot of leaks outside because of the old pipes, but otherwise I don't go into the homes. And that's nice. But I also don't get as much money because, lot rent. Yeah. So it's give or take. And what I will say is like, I had rehabbed that one unit where that lady moved out to buy a home before she moved in, which is why it was so easy to re-rent it in 30 days because, like, you know, it was just literally go in and come out. Like, all we had to do was clean it. We literally cleaned it. We had to clean the trash she left behind, you know, outside, and we had to like hire a cleaner to come through, and we re-rented it. There was minor stuff we had to fix. And so once you rehab these things, that's it, dude. Like, you got years as long as you do it right.
Yeah.
And it
Makes
becomes
sense.
easier. So, long way of saying that's what I'm dealing with in the mobile home park space.
So, talking about pests, how's your office pest control going? How's your landlord treating you?
This is where I'm at. This is where I'm at.
All right, hold on. So for the listeners, Brandon is in his garage and has a mouse or rat problem, and not a problem.
It's a detached
Yes.
building in the backside of my 1 acre property, and it's an 800 square foot garage. I turned it into my office gym. So it's not attached to my house or anything like that. It's just back
And
there.
it's not like you have 10 rats. It's you have one.
Well, no.
Oh, there's been more developments to the
I
population.
have killed 3 rats. Well, that's not true. I killed one. One voluntarily committed suicide out of fear for what I was doing to its friends, and the other one I killed last night. I'm 3 down. I had a Mexican standoff with one yesterday. Today, I took a shot at one this morning at 5 a.m. and I missed him.
That's
and he's
amazing.
now hiding somewhere. I mean, bro, so what I do is so it got to a point where there was weeks where I wasn't killing anything. So at first I killed one.
Last I remember, you had these electric boxes, though, right?
So within a few days from that, I killed my first one in the electrocution chamber. Went in, sizzled to death. Boom.
Okay.
Gone.
Did you keep him there as like a sign?
Oh, yeah.
Like show the other
I
rats?
took a string and I hung him up by the tail, and I hung a little cardboard sign that said "Do not enter, fear." And anyway, when that happened, when that happened, a few days later, I started smelling something, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" There's like a dead rat in here, right? A different dead rat, and I'm like, But at this point, we had moved so much stuff into here, like there was just totes and boxes piled high, a rat haven. So I told my wife, I said, this weekend, we're cleaning this fucking shit out. All of it. I want my shit back. So we did. And there he was. I had like this car carrier with like a metal grate, you know, you put on the back and you put your luggage on the back in the hitch.
Yeah. We need one of those.
He went behind there and he could have escaped, which is why I think he voluntarily went back there to die, because he knew what had happened to his buddy. And he was just like, and he's holding on to the gate like this. And he's just like, and he's just dried out dead. So I had to remove that dead body, cleaned it up, filled in a hole here or there. Anyway, weeks go by, nothing. I've now resorted to going to TikTok to make homemade traps. So I get a 5-gallon.
So you knew they were still there, though.
Oh, yeah, dude. They're living up in my fucking drop-down ceiling, but I can't get to them where they're located. So I'm banging. I'm trying to get them out. You know what I mean? Like, This is... And I can't just poison them because they're tucked back where I don't know how I would get there to remove dead things if I kill them with poison up there. So, like, I need to draw them out. So I have traps all around where I think they're coming down. Okay. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I make this like drop trap. It's like I got a ramp. I built a ramp leading up to the top of this bucket. You step on it, the lid spins, yada, yada, yada. So eventually he's done it and he's gotten out. I'm like, I need to have the lid flip back. So I'm like revising my traps and like I'm adding more traps on. I have like 6 different traps in here. So then... Dude, so then this weekend, I'm like, I know more about rats than I ever cared to know. So now I'm researching. So I'm outside cleaning up old leaves, piles, anything that a rat would want to like scurry around my house and my gym and everything. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just cleaning. Now I have a burn pit. And I moved some wood and debris where my burn pit is. This is on the other side. I have an acre. It's a pretty big property. And I have a small footprint house because it's 2 stories. So it's like just a box. So like it's a lot of yard. And I move it, and then there's this fucking mouse. And I'm like, so they're outside too. So I go in and I get my BB gun. I'm sitting down, I got a bonfire going. I'm cleaning, I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm out there. And so I see him again and I shoot. And I'm like, you know what? This fucking BB is not going to do shit. So I got the Varmint 2000. It's a varmint killer, right, Brad? This is
Wait, it's a gun specifically built for killing vermin?
Yeah.
That looks
I
like a
thought
real
that was
rifle.
just a regular rifle.
Nah, bro. This is
The
the
scope on there looks like a rifle. What
varmint-
ammo is in there?
This is the what is it called? I can't say Gamma Varmint Killer. It's a pellet gun. So it's a pellet gun that
Okay.
shoots 1,250 feet per second. I sighted my scope in this weekend. I was out there for like hours sighting my scope in with a target in
Amazing.
my backyard. I'm pretty sure my neighbor thought I was going to shoot him because my target's near his property, and I'm like just aiming and like I'm sighting this thing in, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to fucking go back out to the burn pit. Another one comes out. I just miss him. He runs. I'm like, okay, they know what's up. They know the game is on. So then I bring it in. I set it by my door. Bro, the last few days, I come in at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. And as soon as I flip the lights on, I see one scurrying. But I can't just shoot into my fucking ceiling. He needs to be in an area where I can shoot. Anyway, we did a Mexican standoff where he went behind my fridge area. And I was like, I know where you're fucking at. Come out. And I stood there for 30 minutes with my gun. And I'm just
Oh
like,
my God,
waiting.
that's amazing.
And I'm like, come on, dude. And I'm moving. I'm trying. It's a fridge. So like I'm trying to move it. I'm trying to move the stuff around it and everything. And I'm like, come on. I don't know. He must have escaped somewhere else because then he had disappeared and he wasn't there. So I'm like, okay. So I get a snap trap, put it right there. Me and my son, we rebait every night. If the bait's gone or answer on it, we rebait or leave the trap. So this is a family affair. Long story short, come out this morning. And this is weeks without a kill. Come out this morning. And I swear to God, I turn and I see him run up my garage door because I have a roller garage door. Family affair. Long story short, come out this morning. And this is weeks without a kill. Come out this morning. And I swear to God, I turn and I see him run up my garage door because I have a roller garage door. Runs up. This time instead of scurrying, he stops. So I
Do you walk from the house to your office with the vermin gun?
No. I keep it by the door. So when I open it, so I come in and I look and I see him and I go, motherfucker. I take my coffee cup and I set it on top of the box. And I reach down for my gun like this and I get it up. I have to pull the scope lens caps off and I'm not moving. He literally, I'm not even shitting you. Me and him, we locked eyes. It was dark. Bro, it was dark. My fluorescent lights are flickering, so it's like a fucking horror movie. Like, I don't know. It's like M. Night Shyamalan movie where like the fluorescent lights aren't really turning on, so it's flickering back there. This one is out, so like there's this shadow and he's gray and he's sitting on like the motor roller that's gray. And I'm like, I scope him and I'm looking at him and I see him looking at me and he moves sideways. So I have like this clear body shot. And so I fucking fire and I hear it hit the fucking metal. It hit the roller that was underneath him. He fucking scurries. I'm like, motherfucker. So now he's back up in my goddamn rafters and ceiling. I'm like, so I'm talking to him.
You're talking to the rat.
Oh, I talk to him every day. I'm like, I hope you fucking enjoy this, bro. I was like, because your day's coming. I want you to know I'm bringing hell with me, bro. I'm coming after you. And just enjoy this. So anyway, I'm like, let me check my traps. And I go around to the side of the fridge. Got him!
Nice. Today?
That's a third one. This is not him. This was simultaneously as this guy's running this way. I had his dead buddy, fucking dead ski on the side of my fridge, snapped on the neck. And I'm like, yes. So I don't remove the dead body. I leave it there. I go and get my son because you know, John, 10-year-olds always talking shit about how fucking tough they are. I'm like, hey, bro, we got one. I'm like, you want to come out and get the dead body? He's like, no, I don't. And I'm like, you talk a lot of shit about how you're gonna beat shit up and kill shit. Now's the time to step up and see what you're made of. Let's go get this dead body. I purposely waited while I'm out here working for like 3 hours for you to get it. You think I'm just sitting next to a dead body for fun? So I bring him out. He checks it out, and I have him, and we throw. He didn't pick it up. I picked it up, but he held the bag. He held the bag for the body, but it was just a step by step. So anyway, I'm down 3 rats now with a known 4th offender.
All right, you're getting closer to your goal.
It pisses
How do you
me
know it's not the same rat? Like he didn't just run around just because the timing, like you saw it.
It was
too
literally,
quick
I
for him.
mean, that and this guy had ants on him. I mean, he had been killed all night. So,
Gotcha.
you know, and he was killed that night because I just put that rat trap. There was a new placement for that trap. And because those snap traps are pretty difficult to catch them. He had set one off back here behind my studio the other night where I saw him run when we had the one standoff. He's like, anyway, that's what's going on, guys.
That's
I hope
amazing.
that entertained
Do you have any? That was hilarious. Do you have any cameras set up, like motion sensor cameras inside?
No, I should. That's been. Listen, Brittany won't let me buy anything. I was begging for night vision because I wanted to come out here at night with my night vision goggles and my rifle and sit out here because he's coming out when the lights go off, which
Right.
he literally could be around here right now watching the show.
If we got him live in the background, that'd be amazing.
And so I wanted to get infrared night vision goggles so I could sit out here and pretend I wasn't here with my scope and my rifle and just shoot him when he runs by. Because hopefully he wouldn't be moving as fast. Like I'm not that great of a shot where I can hit a running rodent through the rafters without fucking getting my ductwork or something.
Yeah. How strong is that pellet gun? Will it go through like
1,250 feet per second?
It would break his go in him.
It would kill him.
Uh,
I mean, I had one of these when I was a kid. And I don't remember the feet per second, but I'd kill birds and squirrels with them when I was a kid.
Yeah. First rat gun kill is just gonna hit so hard for you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna get him. And I know where the rat
You
outside
gotta
is
get
by
a
the
little. You gotta
bird
get a little ring camera in there because then you could have it recorded.
I know. Bernie said I'm not allowed to buy anything for this adventure.
What if you're gifted something?
I know, man. So unless I can rig my studio camera somehow to record this, because I was trying to figure out why he wasn't getting in the bucket, and I had to I did a lot of research, and apparently rats can jump 5 feet, they can swim for 3 days or some shit, and I was
they're
reading
pretty fucking resilient creatures.
So which is why we stopped touching the traps. If there's food in it, we don't touch them because of the scent. They start to understand these things. So I've learned. I feel like I've become a rat whisperer.
Mhm.
But the last time this happened, 6 years ago or 7 years ago, I had 5 of them inside my house, and it took me a month to kill all of them because they had come through my chimney during a storm. They're like tree rats, and they had come through my chimney. And Frank. I told you that story where he went up into my daughter's bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 5 of them. And they were all over my house, and they ended up in my kitchen. And then I finally got one by one. Frank had babies. Frank was obviously a woman. So Frankette had babies that then grew into little rats. So I murdered his whole family. And that was the last time I've had rat problems. And now they come back.
Hilarious. That was
But you see, but let me tie this back. Do you see how I'm remedying this situation? That's all this motherfucker had to do in the park.
Yeah.
You have
Take
rodents,
some initiative.
exterminate them. And what boggles my mind is they act. So I always tell people about my house. And people will be like, oh, this rodent or roaches. I'm like, yeah, I mean, we've had roaches that when the seasons change, they've come in. I trap them. I put the bait out. Within a week, I see dead bodies. I clean it up. I don't have problems for months. You just take care of it, or they complain about a window unit. I'm like, I got a window unit in one of my windows. Here's what you act like it's just you because you're renting. You just don't want the responsibility because you're renting. But you need to take care of the home that you live in, whether it's yours or not. I'm responsible to maintain the functions of a home. You're responsible to keep the home clean, livable, and things maintained as you're using them. Not just not to care because, it's not my home. Oh, there's a leak and there's roaches. No, those roaches are because you're dirty. I'm not cleaning the roaches because you have food and soda and fast food wrappers everywhere. So, I realized I had rats because we had boxes piled up and he was using it to hide. So what did I do? I cleaned it. What does she do? She refuses to clean the room. When we did that eviction, we cleaned it out and we found dead rat bodies all through the room.
I had one in my garage, and then we just cleaned it out, and then it died trying to escape from us as we were cleaning it. I can't remember what happened. It got trapped in something. But yeah, you got to tackle the problem as soon as you see the sign.
You do.
BP. I know that you're a big dog guy. I remember this is a while. This is almost 10 years ago. Me and my buddy were living in like a Baltimore County apartment, and we had this little mouse that came about. We just saw it like underneath the TV thing. And I brought my family's cat where my family lived home, and she's a killer. R.I.P. Raja. That cleared up the problem real quick. No more mice.
That's why I have cats. They take care of roaches too. It's lovely.
They do not. Well, maybe
Yes,
you're
they
right.
do.
I had fucking Garfield as my 6 years ago. I had a cat and my cat and my Rhodesian Ridgeback, which is supposed to help.
That's right. I remember you explaining that when you had them in the house. They did.
I literally, when Frank scurried from my daughter's bedroom, ran down the steps, I chased him, trying to like swat him and kill him because that's all I had at the moment. Anyway, I locked them in the fucking kitchen because it's like an old house, so it's like not an open floor plan. And I was like, do your job. Do it. This is what you were fucking bred for, Achilles. Fucking kid. His name's Achilles. He's literally named after a Greek god. And the dog is Briseis. It's Achilles and Briseis. I was like, you guys remember the movie Troy? Go do some shit. And so I put him in there, and they just literally, I had Frank cornered behind the fridge. The rat ran right by them, and they were just looking at each other like,
they don't have killer. Yeah, they don't have the killer instinct.
No killer instinct, bro.
You gotta get the right animal to do the job. Yeah, it's like some of my cats probably wouldn't, but I know some of them will.
Well, so after that, I had taken in some strays outside that live under my house. And so once Frank, I kept them. But now my fucking neighbor, whatever, they're great people. But they feed the cat. So now all this cat does is lay outside on my yard like a fat Garfield. Like what he's trying. He used to be a killer, bro. He was murdering rats for me, and now they feed him every day and give him water, and he has no need to fight for life. And so I have rats again because of this.
Yep.
My wife's plan is to go find rat snakes and bring them and drop them off in our yard. I'm like, that's well and good until we have like a fuck ton of snakes running around our property.
They need to get hawks to get rid of the snakes.
Black racers.
She would rather have me get rat snakes, the racers, rather than get night vision. Make that
rat
make
snake
sense.
and a black racer are two different snakes. But.
Whatever. Imagine that. So what would you rather have, John? Night vision goggles?
Or snakes in my yard? Snakes in my yard.
Okay. Well, snakes in your yard are only good against one enemy. If I have night vision and there's a terrorist attack, I'm ready to fucking go.
Night vision is solid. I still think the ring camera is the best thing to get. Get a couple ring cameras. So we at least
let's get trail cams. They're cheap on Amazon.
I need light.
That'd be amazing to see footage of that.
I know. Anyway, but you're right. I probably should, but Brittany has told me because I spent so much money on traps and stuff already, and pretty much this is what I get. Those electrocution chambers are like $70 a pop. They're not cheap. But
hey, sounds like you're almost there. Hopefully, next non-guest episode, we can hear the success story.
Oh, I'm gonna kill him. Then I'm gonna start shooting some fucking squirrels. Basically, just rats with fluffy tails.
They are. They are vermin.
And I got the vermin killer.
All right. Well, next week, who do we have coming on, Carlos?
Confirming Josh Dayrit. He wants to come on, but I actually need to confirm that still. I need to double tap on
possibly a guest next week. Josh Dayrit is a PPC master, so it'd be great to talk to him.
That would be good. That would be good.
And YouTube. He's recently having success with YouTube.
YouTube ads?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Very cool. All right, guys. Well, have a great weekend. And Carlos, enjoy Medellin. Is that the correct way to pronounce it?
Very correct.
Medellin. All right. See, there's.
And we got a cat there. Is that a killer or no?
Oh, he is a killer. He's a hunter. He's the old man too. He's like,
dude,
10, 11.
My friend's cat literally is every single night goes out and just hunts all night and then comes back and just brings back, dead animals, birds, mice.
Not
whatever.
all cats are built the same.
Yeah, not all cats are built the
I
same.
don't ever want a cat again. I got rid of my cat. Well, my cat died, but the litter box days. I'm over litter boxes.
I'm with you. When all of my cats die, I'm not getting any more cats.
Cats were cool when I was young because you can leave them alone and go on vacation.
Yeah,
But
they're great. I mean, I love them. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I'm with you. I'm like, when these ones are gone, that's it. I'm done. We did it. The kids can move out and have their own cats, and we can visit.
There you go. That's a good compromise.
It's all about dogs. I'd rather have a dog. They're a little more pain in the ass when you travel, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I want like a smaller dog too. So when these 3 dogs die, just
this dog is
one smaller
fucking worthless. Fucking worthless dog. Won't hunt. Won't do shit. The other day, I swear to God, I was like, her ears perked up, and I was like, she's found a rat because we're out here together. And I'm like, she stands in like full attention, and I'm like, and she's staring over where I had some of my traps, and I'm like, so I give her the search command, suck. I'm like, suck. Like fry, like get off, suck. Grab my gun and I go over there. And she's like sniffing and all this shit. This bitch looks at me, grabs the cheese off the trap and runs the fucking way. And I go, you're fucking worthless, bro. Literally worthless. You tricked me. You stole the fucking bait. Now I gotta rebait this thing. I was like, you're done. I'm never gonna trust your skills again. I should have known better. So yeah, you gotta have the right one. Get a rat terrier or something.
Yeah, rat terrier.
I love how we've talked about rats for like the last 30 minutes, but
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Anyway, lock and load, guys.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Awesome.
Enjoy your vacation, Carlos.
Thank you.
Have fun.
So glad you're taking vacations now. You used to didn't do that a couple years ago. So
Just remember,
you would go on vacation and then still work. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad you're going on vacation and taking time off. So
Yeah. I'm always
Good on
talking to
you,
people, but yeah, just meetings.
all right, guys. See ya.